2 months ago, snow on the ground, and I took a picture just over there in relation to Moshe Gold Farm, and look at the woodland now, completely different. It's like this is a really pretty time of year to come in, and every time I return it's quite emotional. It really is, because you become, this place has become a part of me, you know, in this journey that I'm on, I suppose. And the reasons why I'm doing it, I'm so happy of what I've done, even if it's not successful for me as a person, what I've learned. When I say successful, I've got to get this published, and people have, you know, I hope that people will read it and understand what's happened here at Sobibor only 83 years ago, but in a manner where it's just easier to understand, and it's not so academic, and it's visually led, you know. But and also it's been interesting in over a year just to see how much more has been put in. So these boards have been put in. There's an event tomorrow, obviously, which is one of the other reasons I'm here, because I'm going to be meeting Thomas Blatt. But they are trying to invest in educating people on what happened at this place. But to be able to walk around it and have the access that I've had, it really makes it a more intimate experience for me, which is great for me, because then hopefully that will spill out in the images that I'm trying to create. So I've got 2 pictures to make here today. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be walking around the forest. I'm currently on Lager 2, so this is where all of the people would have been working. You know, there would have been all sorts of stuff going on, the clothing being sorted and all that sort of stuff. But it gives me a chance to walk around the forest and have a look at, you know, the location and how the images can fit into each shot. So that's what I'll be doing. That's what I'll be doing now. Wow. I was going to say, it's such a peaceful place. That's the first gunshot I've ever heard go off since my visits. And what's quite odd about that is it instantly made me think of the reasons why I'm here. because that would have been what it sounded like when people would have been murdered here by rifles or guns, and how it echoes through the forests. How strange. How strange. This is a shot that's been on my mind for a long time, actually. How do I create a story based on Toivy or Thomas Blatt, based on all of the stuff that I've read, testimony? Yeah, it took quite a bit of work, to be honest, because there were so many different stories and different ways. But how do you really show what Thomas Blatt was thinking? He was 14, 15. He was a boy in a world of absolute madness. Bearing in mind he had 2 years or so before that, leading up with, trying to escape the ghettos, going to Lviv or Lvov. So much had happened to him, and he was still a boy. But one of the stories that I found really quite interesting about him, he was quite a character. He mucked about a bit. He reminded me a little bit of me when I was younger, but obviously I didn't have to go through what he did. And when he was in the camp, he was always conscious about how the Nazis always looked particularly smart. Everything had to be brushed in a certain way, and they was all dressed very smart. So what he used to do is, when people used to come in and all the stuff went through Lager 2, where they were taking out all the clothing, boots, stuff like that, he'd always try to make sure that he had the best polished boots and a smart shirt and a pair of smart jeans. So we wanted to try and not be noticed, maybe, or just to try and fit in with the Nazis' influence, or the Nazis' ethos, to survive. And it worked. So what I did, I purchased an old pair of boots off of Vinted, and a shirt and an old pair of jeans that would reflect on the era. But also I think it's Podza. He was made to polish boots as well, so he was good at shining shoes. Basically I put this together. It just so happens that while I was in the forest, I found this area where there's been a small fire lit, and that's really significant too, because part of his job here, and literally where I'm standing, was to burn all the documentation from the Jewish people that came from all over Europe. So hopefully this one will fit in well with the others, telling the story about the different people whose stories have influenced my work and my book.